So we just discussed the student view of the advanced uploading of activity of files activity. Now we want to look at how we can actually grade those submissions. So I'm going to click on return to my normal role if I was in the student view. And now I'm back here to my teacher view. You'll notice that I still have submitted files as a teacher, and I have the ability to do that just so I can test it and make sure it works properly. And what I'm going to do is I can choose all participants, or I can choose one of the groups. I'm going to choose one of my classes here. And you'll notice that now I only have 12 submitted assignments, so that means I still have a few students that need to submit assignments. But I can click on this, and you'll see a table with a list of all the different submissions here. Notice this student used a folder, and typically you don't have a problem with that. But like I said, I try to tell them not to, but if they do, it's okay. It's not a terribly big deal. But once again, I have this table here, and you'll notice that from this section I can also choose a different class. So if I wanted to see green 4, I could do that as well, depending on which groups I'm using. Starting at the top, you'll notice that I can see all the students, or I can see by the letter of their first name, letter of their surname. I also have the option to sort all these all these columns by their particular column heading. So for example, if I want to see the pictures, I can just click on the little minus here, and that gets rid of it. And let's say I want to sort by surname, which is their last name, and I click on that, and you'll notice now it's in reverse alphabetical order because it's already sorted to begin with. And I can click on it again to take it back to alphabetical order. So if you ever get here and it's not in alphabetical order, you can simply click on surname and it'll put it there. Grade, this is where I'm actually going to add the grade for the student. Comment allows me to add comments about the files. Last modified, which is their submission here, tells you when and what time they modified their submission and what the most recent files are. And then this will tell you their grade once you've actually graded it based off their last modified grade. And then status means that it'll tell you either it's graded or it needs to be graded. In this case, I haven't graded any of these assignments, so they need to be graded. And then this will be their final grade once they've passed the submission deadline and I've graded everything for them. Note that if you go and grade an assignment before the deadline and then they go back and change it again, it'll let you know that it was modified again, and this grade box will come back up letting you know that once again you need to go and grade the file. So those are some of the different columns that you'll use. Another interesting thing that's nice about this is you can also download everything they submit as a zip file. So if you want to, you can click on download all assignments as a zip, and it'll create this little zip file here. And depending on whether you're using Chrome or Firefox, it'll look a little bit differently. But you can click on save file and click on OK, tell you where you want to save it, and click on save. And now what it's going to do is it'll take a few seconds, but it will download the file, and then I can go here to my desktop where I saved it, and I can click on open. Open. There we go. And there's all the files with their name added to it as well, so that you can see who created it. So if you didn't want to necessarily try to access Moodle from home, or you wanted to kind of take your time or make comments on the files, this is the best way of doing it. And then you could email the students back the files, or you could print them out and give them to them, however you want to do it. Or you could put this on a flash drive, and that way if you don't have internet access wherever it is you're going, you can maybe take it to the park or something like that and grade the files without having to have internet access, and then later you can go back and add the grades into your grade book. So it's a useful tool for doing that if you want to download all the files. Now in terms of actually grading the student, I can enter the grade here by clicking on the drop down box, and from here I can click on the individual assignments to look at them. So this is what's known as quick grading. Basically, I can click on the file and I can see it pulled up, and I can switch right back here, grade, and add comments. If you want to grade assignments in order, I click on this yellow grade box here, and what it does is it actually takes me to a little bit longer grading style, but allows me to add more detail. The other nice thing about this too is that if you'll remember, I said you could download the files and then make comments, and then you can add response files. So for example, I could download this file by clicking on it, open it, And once it gets started, I can, let's say, add a comment to it. So for example, let's say that right here this was, you know, an incorrect issue or something, I had a problem with it. I could go to the review tab and click on track changes. I probably need to save this as well, so I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop and click save. And I can just add a comment here, or I could make a change, so maybe this is supposed to be dash signups, and then that way the students can actually see whatever changes I've made to that. Or I can come here and I can say maybe this is supposed to say surname, and now that I've made those changes to the file, I can save it, and then I can go back here and click on response files, add, upload, browse, and then I can locate that file I was just working with right here and open, upload, and now they have a file with my comments directly in it that they can go and change and possibly resubmit if you wanted them to do that. So it's very useful to allow you to do a little more in-depth grading and analysis if you want to do it this way. Once again, I can click on the files here to open them and view them. Here I can assign the grade if I want to. Note that just because you assign a grade once doesn't mean you can't go back and change it later. So if maybe I give them a 70 on the first one because they had a lot of mistakes, but then they go back and correct it, and I want to give them a little more credit, I could go back into the screen and update their grade from here as well, or I could update it from the quick grading screen if I want to. Notice I have a bigger feedback box as well, so that I can actually have bulleted lists or, you know, pictures or whatever I want to make sure that they understand how it's supposed to be graded, how it's supposed to look. Once I'm done, I can click on Save Changes, which basically just saves what I have, and I'll see the screen. I can click on Save and Show Next, which saves everything I've added here and shows me the next student's submissions. Or I can just click Next if I've already, you know, graded this one and I just want to skip over it. Then we'll click Next, or I can click Cancel and go back to the main screen. So I'm going to click on, I'm going to type in here, great job, and then add a grade of, let's say, 100, and then click on Save and Show Next. And now I'm taking the next student. Now you'll notice that they have nothing submitted right here, so I really can't grade anything for them yet. So I'm just going to click on Next, and it'll take me to the next student, and from there I can continue grading in that process. Whenever I'm done, I can just click on Save Changes, and it'll take me back here to this main screen where I have the updates available for them. So that is the quick grading and the grading assignments in order. Keep in mind that once you grade all this, then you will be able to see it in the grade book.